These are three unsettling true horror stories of fraternity hazing. Our first story takes us to Penn State University in 2017. A young student named Tim Piazza wanted nothing more than to join the Beta Theta Pi fraternity. The initiation night featured a terrifying ritual known simply as the Gauntlet. It was a highly organized, massive drinking obstacle course. Tim was forced to consume a lethal amount of alcohol in just a few short minutes. Severely intoxicated and completely disoriented, he fell headfirst down a steep flight of basement stairs. But the true horror of this story is not the tragic fall, it is what happened next. The security cameras inside the fraternity house captured everything. For the next 12 agonizing hours, his so-called brothers did not call an ambulance. Instead, they stepped right over his unconscious and deeply bruised body. They slapped him in the face to wake him up. They even strapped a heavy backpack full of books to his chest so he would not choke on his own vomit. They spent the entire night actively trying to cover up the incident because they were terrified of getting their fraternity shut down. They valued the reputation of their secret club more than a human life. By the time they finally called 911 the next morning, it was far too late. Tim died because the brotherhood chose total silence over saving him. Our second story revolves around a terrifying physical torture ritual called the glass ceiling. In 2013, a student named Michael Deng traveled to a dark, snowy cabin in the freezing woods of Pennsylvania. He was pledging a fraternity from Baruch College, and this weekend was his final test. Michael was brought out into the freezing snow blindfolded and forced to wear a heavy backpack completely filled with sand. He was told he had to walk across the frozen yard in the pitch-black dark, but the older fraternity brothers were waiting for him. They repeatedly and brutally tackled the blindfolded boy to the freezing ground. When Michael finally took a devastating hit to the head and went completely unresponsive, the brothers did exactly what a cult does. They protected themselves. They did not call the police. Instead, they dragged his lifeless body inside the cabin, placed him by the fire, and changed his clothes. They spent a whole hour hiding all of their secret fraternity merchandise and coordinating their fake stories while Michael was actively dying on the floor. He lost his life in a freezing cabin surrounded by men who promised to protect him. Our final story involves a twisted psychological game with a very innocent sounding name. At a fraternity at Louisiana State University, the older members hosted an event they called Bible study, but there was absolutely nothing holy about it. 18-year-old Maxwell Gruver was lined up in a dark hallway with the other new pledges. Their faces were covered in mustard and hot sauce. The older members stood over them screaming and demanding answers to highly specific trivia questions about the secret history of the fraternity. It was a rigged game of psychological dominance. Every single time a pledge answered a question incorrectly, they were forced to drink massive gulps of extremely strong alcohol. Maxwell was specifically targeted and forced to drink over and over again until his body completely shut down. The brothers laid him on a dirty couch and simply left him there overnight to sleep it off. He never woke up. The medical examiners found that his blood alcohol level was an astronomical 0.49. He was literally poisoned to death by the very people who demanded his total loyalty. These three stories are a chilling reminder of the dark psychology hiding on college campuses everywhere. When you strip away the bright smiles and the college branding, you are left with terrified young men trapped in dark basements. They are willing to endure absolute torture just to feel like they belong, and the older members are more than happy to provide it.